What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Bearded Vaping Guy channel. I'm the Bearded Vaping Guy. Get some of that out of here. And this is your late night, early in the Saturday morning, triple play video. I hope you're as hyped about it as I am. Tonight we'll be looking at my setup, which is, as people probably already know, but tonight I actually want to dive, well, I can't dive down, but I want to take a look at this, my actual mech mod setup. My mech mod, of course, is the Nemesis gold-plated clone, and my RD8 is the Doge. So I want to try to look at those, take them apart, play with them, and talk about them, tell you my likes and dislikes about it. And then I have a liquid review, of course. This is the second line from my brick-and-mortar store, Victorious Vapers. This is their dripping liquid line, so we'll be looking at that. Gotta wait until the end of the video for that one. Okay, so I hope everybody had a great week. We finally made it to the end of the week. It's Friday. Great. Just to pre-warn people, I have developed over the last couple of days, I think it's due to the weather changing. Hope my hair's okay, but I think it's due to the weather changing. I've developed a bit of a cough, so if any time I cough while vaping or anything, don't worry. Just got a bit of a cough. Nothing, I mean, it shouldn't be too contagious. However, you might want to wash your hands after watching this video. Germ spread. So anyway, let's take a quick rip on it, and then I think I'm going to look at the Nemesis clone first, and then we'll look at the RDA that I'm looking at. So let's take a nice nice hit from a homie. Of course, I'm already vaping on the e-liquid that I'm going to look at tonight, but yeah, I'll let you know what I taste there in a minute. So let's, without further ado, let's take this Nemesis apart. Nemesis is kind of a well-known clone. Well, the Nemesis clone is kind of well-known already, and a lot of people have reviewed it, but I was ecstatic when I finally got into mechanical mech mods and mechanical mods and such, whatever you want to call it, that I'm proud of this one. So let's take a look at it. It came with some extra extension pieces to go bigger, like if you wanted a kick on it. Right now I have it in 18650 mode, and this is what it looks like, you know, without the battery and everything. It says Nemesis right there. The number is 0368. And then of course it's got the cool Nemesis Angel of Death Grim Reaper thing on it. What I don't get is this. The bottom switch, it has a train on it, which I like trains. And it's made by Atmo Mexani. Like all of them have on the bottom switch there. I've had this guy for about 3 weeks now. Obviously, I need to polish it up. If anybody has any tips on how to polish this up, because I mean, like the threads and everything on the inside are still golden and everything. So, and so they're extension tubes, obviously. But if anybody has any idea on how I can refinish this and bring the shiny gold back out in it, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, so let's take it apart. Now, if you're just getting a Nemesis clone, like I did 3 weeks ago, of course there's the shiny gold because the threads aren't touched by me every day and all day. But anyway, Nemesis, when it first comes to you, first get it, it has silver plated contacts, which I'll show you what I mean, but this is one contact that was silver plated. I ordered copper contact pins. From what I had seen and everything, ordered the copper contact pins. It helps with conductibility rather than those silver plated, and from what I can tell so far, these have only been in for about a week. That is true. The copper contacts pins that you can get off eBay or Amazon just Google copper contacts or a Nemesis clone, and it'll pop right up. It was very, very idiot proof, and I say that to myself because sometimes it's hard, you would think, to find such things, but this really wasn't. So, but anyway, this is the switch. I'll take it apart, I guess, here in a second. But anyway, yeah. So I got the copper contact pins, the one for the top, and then the one where the RDA screws into, and I replaced it, and it does help with conductivity. But when I had originally got it, instead of this being copper, it was silver. So yeah, then when you get it, it comes with in the switch a spring. They have a magnet upgrade now, so that way the sound of the switch won't be janky. So when I used to press this, it would make this weird, horrible little sound. If I forgot to put the locking ring on it, it would fire like I think I had shared a story in a video that I'd done previously that I forgot to put the locking ring on, put the thing in my pocket, and smoke was coming from my pocket, and I had to hurry up and take it out. Yeah, so anyway, they offer an upgrade now with this switch again. 2 magnets. They were fairly easy to install. It's 2 little bitty round ring magnets. Matter of fact, when I take the switch apart here in a second, I'll show you how to put that back together. So yeah, this is the switch of the Nemesis clone. This is all updated, I guess up to date, with copper contacts and magnets. But yeah, that is the switch. I hope everybody can see that, but anyway, it comes right here with a locking ring. A good tip about this locking ring, don't ever grasp a locking ring. Like if you tighten it up too tight, like I had some problems with that, tighten it up too tight, I couldn't get it to come back on. I was watching a Grim Green video the other day, and he suggests this, and it does work, just with a light touch. I'm going the wrong way. I'm just tightening it up even more, but with the lightest touch, just kind of twist it, light touch, okay? Light touch. And that helps it to come off easier. And the reason why that is when you grasp it real tight like that, you're just pinching it closer to the threads, makes it harder to take off. But yeah, this locking ring comes all the way off. Come on, locking ring. Okay, there, as you can see, that's still pretty shiny. It's got, like I said, some extensions. I have it in 18650 mode. But yeah, the body comes apart, and you could configure the tube to accommodate whatever battery you have. Again, 1 second. Yep, 18650 VTC4 Sony battery. So yeah, you just configure it and use the right parts of the tube that you need, and then adjust for battery rattle. So yeah, this is it in half. The locking ring, and then it's got a top part where your RDA goes. Now it's got this washer like piece there that pops off, and it has air holes right there at the top where your RDA or tank would go. The reason why that is there is to allow breathing in case you have like an atomizer or something on there that breathes through the bottom. Those holes are there when you line them up. They're wide open. When you rotate it a little bit, it closes them off, so on and so forth. But yeah, it pulls around all the way, and it comes off like it'll snap off like that. And you can see the 2 little air holes right there. They look like little snake bites, but anyway, it is enough to allow breathing through a tank or an atomizer or something that you may want to put on here. So yeah, now let's take this top piece off. This is the part where your RDA, tank, whatever you may want to put on here will fit. It's the inside of the top part of the tube. And as I said, there's the other copper contact that I had upgraded. When I first got it, it was, I don't know if it was actual silver or just silver plated. So let's look at this. do a real kind of a scan over. That's pretty much Nemesis taken all apart. I hope everybody can see that. So yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, your tube there, top part of the tube, switch, lock ring, the washer adjustment light deal for the airflow onto the top cap. So that's it pretty much taken apart. So let me get back up here. Regular view. Now I'm just gonna put this back together quickly. So yeah, you get your bottom part of the tube, your locking ring. Make sure it goes on there. You don't want to speed through it because you will cross thread. You will cross thread these. When you cross thread it, it messes up the metal, because most of the material that they use for these tubes, put in the second part, as you can see, the locking ring's all the way back on. Go slow, okay. But yeah, most of the metals they use for these are fairly soft metals, so if you go too fast and cross thread it, you'll damage the metal. So just keep that in mind and be careful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the top section of the mod. Show you how that works. This copper contact pin, obviously it backs out a little bit. You don't want to back it out too far, it'll fall out like that. So what you want to do is you want to tighten it in a little ways and back it out till right before it's wobbly like that there. Sorry, my English is not great, but anyway, you want to back out the contact pin to right there. Put this washer and air hole. I like to just keep it open. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it just makes me feel better that more ventilation is getting in there. Then you take whatever RDA you're using. Tonight I'm using the Doge, and you just kind of screw it in there till everything is finger tight. Don't over tighten anything, but you screw that in there like that. I like to take the top cap off the RDA, give it just a little bit of a twist to make sure it's on there tight, and then you take your fingers again and you adjust this copper contact until it is finger tight against the contact pin bottom of the RDA, and then you take it and set it back on there. Make sure it's level. Like I said, don't force anything, and then just turn it until it is on. So now that is on there, and the contact pin is adjusted right to hit the bottom of the RDA. Let's look at the switch right quick. I'm trying to keep everything clean and move along in this video. Sometimes if you overfill an RDA, obviously you're going to get juice leakage, and I'm trying not to do that. But yeah, so this the switch, of course, right here, it's got a nice little throw to it with those magnets. But what I like about those magnets, obviously, I used to love magnets when I was in school. I used to love to play with magnets. Anyway, they fascinate me. Anyhow, obviously, when something is opposite, it attracts on magnets. Well, when something is the same, it repels. Okay. Essentially, obviously, that's how these two round ring magnets work. The outside ring are opposites, so they repel against each other. Yeah, you have to really put a lot of force to push them things together. So after you put those magnets in the switch, it stops it from being so janky, crunchy sounding. As you can listen, no crunchiness to it, just a straight, nice throw. So let's take this apart. And the way you do that is you push, man, I hope everybody can see me. You push down on this Delrin insulator, and you take your finger and you touch and you slowly screw out your contact there in that switch. So you got a nice big piece of Delrin for installation right there, that white piece, Delrin insulator. Now, the magnets, be careful. Spring used to pop it up a little bit, but now these magnets are a lot stronger than this spring. So when it has nothing to hold it there, there's a small little, what is called a rice pin down there in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, hopefully you can, but there's a little pin there. Do not lose that pin. So you want to just kind of hold it in your hand like this, between your index and your thumb finger. Just slowly bring it up. Okay? That'll allow that little rice pin to fall into the cap, and you just kind of dump that onto your napkin or your surface, whatever you're working with, so you can keep it together. This is the top part of the switch. As you can see, it had a kind of a groove cut out there for where one of the areas of the spring used to go. Take this other magnet out and show this to you. Yeah, you heard that banging sound? That was that sound right there. Oh. That's some magnets pulling together, but this is the bottom part of the switch. The spring used to go right there, and as you can see, there's a little groove right here. That is just where that rice pin slides in to line up that groove and this inside groove right there on that Delrin insulator. You probably, maybe, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a groove there. That Delrin, that pin goes in there to line up those grooves to make sure they don't get out of place and your switch doesn't come apart. So the way of course, the spring was a loose little spring. It wasn't nothing really fancy about it, just like a little loose spring. It was real. It was horrible. Spring wasn't all that great. Let me adjust the camera. Spring wasn't all that great, and it would cause like the button to misfire. And like I said, if you did not have that locking switch down tight enough on the mod, because that spring was so loose, it would just fire automatically. So they came up with a they came up with a way to fix the problem. It's late, and the way to fix the problem were these two little ring magnets, and the way you install them. Although this is, let me show you the little pin I'm talking about. This pin is teeny tiny. It's good to make sure your hands are dry and clean, but that is the pin. The reason why I make sure that your hands are dry and clean is these things can get slippery very easily. So you're holding on to that pin and it just shoots out across the room, you'll lose it. So make sure you keep your fingertips dry and everything nice and dry. So the way you put this magnet switch back together, you take one of your little ring magnets in the bottom part of your switch, and you just slide it over that post right there. Doesn't matter which side, just slide it over the post. Now, take the bottom part of your switch, the top part of your switch with the groove in the bottom and the Delrin insulator, and you place one of the magnets to it. Now, when you place one of the magnets to it, it's going to attract that metal. Okay, so it's not going to fall. Then comes the fun part. You look into the switch, the top and bottom parts where I told you that groove was, canal-like deal, and you're going to want to line them up. Now, when you put these on top of each other, they're immediately going to start shoving against each other. So, just a second. That's what I did wrong. Yeah, what I did wrong is, put the same sides on so they attracted that time. But before you put them on, try to push both of them down onto that to make sure that you have the opposite sides. So now, let's start over. Things happen. That should go on my blooper reel if I had one, but just about every video I do, there's a blooper in it. So yeah, try to get that magnet as straight as possible on the thing, line up the grooves, line the grooves back up, and like I said, immediately when you start pushing them against each other, they're going to start trying to push back take your little pin. Works better if you have tweezers, but right now I don't. They're over there in my box. So line that groove up, slide that pin in there while holding it down. Take your copper contact with your fingers. I'm hoping to have an up-closey way of getting up close. But anyway, screw that thing down and screw the contact down, and voila, your switch is back together. You can then adjust your switch, which is what I do. I bring it out just a little to where it's not completely flush with that Doge Rda insulator, but not so far out that my switch will come apart in my battery. So yeah, make sure it's adjusted right. Now, switch is back together. I took it apart, put it back together. Proud of myself. So yeah, that is the Nemesis clone. It's a hard-hitting mod, especially with these now new copper contacts and that magnet switch. Let me put the battery in and tighten it down. Again, finger tight. As you can see, just the lightest touch on that locking ring brings it out. Now the locking ring, in case some people don't know, the locking ring, when you bring it all the way out, it touches the switch, stops the button from going in, which obviously keeps it from firing, which can burn coils, cause a fire, burn a house down, if not your hand off. But anyway, so yeah, when you bring the locking ring back in a good ways, there's a hole right here. There's a little hole right there on the side of the battery. 1, 2, 3 of them. It is for battery ventilation, which is really good. It keeps that battery from overheating. I like to bring the locking ring out to where it's just under those holes. That gives me plenty enough room here for my switch, and gives plenty enough room for the switch, plus it leaves those holes open for battery ventilation. So now that my Nemesis is back together, battery safety real quick. Always put the positive side in first, leaving the negative side towards the switch. Okay, hope I didn't confuse you. That's the way they told me to use it. As you can hear, now that everything's back together, as you can possibly see, let's take a hit on it, then we shall talk about my RDA. But yeah, this Nemesis clone absolutely does the job. Hits hard. It's pretty much a workhorse. This, like I said, it was gold when I got it. So I'm going to try to refinish this, try to keep it as shiny for as long as possible. But yeah, definitely get one. It's a great mechanical mod. Great for beginning people that want a good, sturdy mechanical mod, and this thing does the trick. So take one more and then we'll talk about the Doge. Now, put the locking ring back on so I can take my Doge off. This Doge RDA, when I went to the vape shop to get it, I said I wanted to get into cloud chasing, maybe some sub-ohming, and I wanted a good RDA for that. I should have been more specific when I said I also want more of a flavor chasing RDA. So this kid, now don't get me wrong, he works there. He knows. I would assume he knows more about these RDAs because he works with them. I'm going to assume. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Me being brand new to this, I didn't know. This is what he gives me. This is the Doge RDA. It's got a dog on the front, the dog Mimi, which I think is hilarious. This is what he gives me. He builds me a coil on it, and yeah. So this, in the box it came, my sister did something with the box. Let me show you it's got a copper contact pin at the bottom of it. It's got WOW written in big letters, and then it is number 0514. It says the Doge Competition RDA. I didn't know what that meant until I started looking up other people reviewing it and using it myself. Now, this thing was built for making huge clouds. I don't have a problem with that, but I wanted to, let me just break it apart first. It comes with a nice deck there, as you can tell. The deck, it's got 2 double insulating O-rings around the deck. Let me get off some of the juice. It's got a fairly decent juice weld. It's got a pretty big Phillips head screws, and those holes open up fairly big, so you could slide in whatever build you want on it. Set that to the side here. Got getting juice all over the place, but you know. Then it comes with a top cap. I thought, you know, I was going to have to buy a drip tip. Instead, it came this cap and center post here separate. As you can tell, it has another single layer, a single O-ring there with heat fins. That's called heat fins. And you can see how wide that. Let me put it up again. That is how wide that bore is on that thing. So this thing was made for just shredding up some blowing ginormous clouds. Now, wipe everything back off again. It's got grooves in the very top there for dual airflow, for dual coil, and that little hole right there is for your single coil. I have put, let me get everything back together right. I have put single coil in here, and I have put dual coils in here. I've been working with a 24 gauge Canthal, and this bad boy, it handles it. Now, as I said, it was made mostly for cloud chasing, and of course what that means with an RDA such as this, with the heat fins, these heat fins here at the top, those little riveted out things, looks like, anyway, it's used for keeping those coils and everything cool, so that way it'll bring in more airflow. With more airflow to it, you get more vapor because it keeps the coils from overheating. As I said, it's got a fairly decent juice well. I know I got it wicked already and cotton in there, but it comes with a fairly decent sized juice well. When I'm not running it in dual coil, obviously I do enjoy running it in single coil mode, and the reason for that is that leaves open one side that I can feel a little bit more juice, get more juice in there, and the way that I wick obviously is just your coil's there, you put your cotton through and you lay it down kind of like in a circle, and then you just punch your coil over with your e-juice. Let me go ahead and put this back together. I'm going to show you how that fits together. It's got those double O-rings on top, but you line your coil up with your airflow hole. So that fits nice and flush. I'm just doing that so it won't spill any juice out or tip over. I just juiced those coils real well before we started. But anyway, so yeah, these airflow holes, because I've looked at other RDAs, those are about 11 millimeters wide. They're huge. You get maximum. There's the other washer. There's my bore. Some of them come with just plain top cap where you have to get your own drip tip. This one, however, came with this wide bore top post. It fits like that, and then to adjust it, it just turns. Okay, you could turn it, it'll adjust to there, and then it'll adjust to a single coil, but you ain't got, it really forces you almost to use a dual coil, but that's fine. That single coil obviously on here with both airflow holes open is going to be just a airy, very cool vape. I like that. The next thing I like about that, right now I got a dual coil on it, as you've seen, and with that dual coil, I got a little bit warmer vapor, and anyway, get a warmer vapor and great vapor production with that dual coil on it. Amazing cloud competition RDA. It is a good RDA. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna take anything from it. It's a great RDA. Looking back now on it, I wish I would have told the kid I wanted something for flavor chasing. I love this Doge though. I do like it. It's great for, like I said, chunking huge clouds. But if you're a flavor chaser, this RDA might not be for you. The flavor's okay. I'll give it that. The flavor's okay, but I have pulled on like a Patriot and stuff like that. Flavor is way better there. So the Doge, get the Doge competition RDA if you want to chunk massive huge clouds. Again, the pretty nice sized juice well in there. The center post in there is your negative, the two on the outside are your positive. Pretty huge holes when you open those screws up to use pretty much whatever gauge or wire you want to in there. But this thing, like I said, is a competition style for cloud comps, and I plan on doing that one day, obviously, but I would like to get a different RDA to try for flavor chasing, which I'm going to attempt to do here in the next week or two. I'm going to get me another one, but I can't back. But machining on mine, I'd seen Rip Tripper's video for the Doge. I'd seen Vaping with Twisted 420's video for the Doge. His was pretty good. Rip said that his machining was pretty, it was scratched up for some reason. Mine was not like that. I don't know if that's just who he got it from or what, but the machining on it's great. I like the design of it. I love the dog meme on the back. The box even had a cat meme, and it was just silly and stuff. Inside the box you get of course a little Phillips head screwdriver. You get some extra rings and gaskets and such, and some extra screws in case you, like, if you're tough on tightening and cranking down those screws, which you got to be careful with that. You will round out the inside of the screws, but it comes with an extra set of screws in case you do that. Overall, it's easy to build on. I'm still new to building, and I can wrap dual coils and throw them in here in less than 4 or 5 minutes, and so huge holes when you open up those things. Easy to build on. Fairly decent sized juice well. It's not the deepest I've ever seen, but it's enough to get the job done. Bottom copper contact pin is pretty nice, and I mean, yeah, this is just, and of course that dog that stares at you. Huge airflow, like I said. You twist it to adjust the airflow hole. Works out pretty nice. But I mean, it is definitely for a cloud chaser. Let me show you what I mean. And on this Nemesis mod, yeah, it hits. Yeah, this is what everybody likes to do. Yeah, so I mean, it hits pretty good. By the way, this is a 0.21 build that I got on here. So yeah, sub on, bro. Clouds for days. Now just watch this. This is a short toke off of it, or a toot. thing is made for chunking clouds. And I mean, the taste is still pretty good. I have good taste, but I don't think the taste is as good as it would be from like a Patriot and other RDAs out there. Little guy, little boy, whatever the name of his. I think those offer a better taste, but man, when you could chunk a cloud with this thing, and like I said, I know I haven't done any competition or anything, but when I could do this, I'm glad I was able to do that, because that was a hellaciously dry hit. Oh, but yeah, it chunks. Oh. Which brings me to my next point, juice. It chunks the vapor. Let me put some more of this juice we're going to be reviewing tonight. Good gracious. Always check your juice, kids. And again, the way those coils are set up in there, all I do when I juice them up is, you know, of course I go back and forth, kind of putting a coat of juice over those coils, and it just kind of falls down, and the wicks suck them up. Let's try that again. Oh, that was horrible. That's probably why I got the cough. But anyway, make sure you check that juice well, kids. Don't want to dry it. And that's without even trying. So I mean, this Doge Rda really just chunks clouds. If you're looking for an RDA that just chunks clouds, produces very thick, wet vapor, obviously depending on how low you build. Like I said, this is a 0.21 build in it, and it just gives me a nice, wet, thick vape. Fairly decent flavoring. I can taste everything that I'm going to talk about in this juice, but not the greatest for taste chasing, flavor chasing, but definitely the best, I believe, out there right now for, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it's one of the best RDAs I have seen for cloud chasing. That is my review on the Nemesis and the RDA, the Doge. That is my setup for now. Hopefully I'll grow some more and get some more RDAs and mods in and be able to do reviews on that. Now, 2 videos I did prior to this week, I covered the premium line from my brick and mortar store, Victorious Vapers. Now I have another line called their dripping liquid line. See, it says dripping liquid, and these are in, instead of glass bottles, these are in nice little squeezy bottles. There's our dragon logo, and dragon logo, I like the labeling on this. Nice squeezy bottle, child-proof lid that the glass bottle did not have, but they could shrink wrap those. It says Victorious Vapers presents dripping liquid. I got it in nicotine level of 3, but it has that. Gives the ingredients right there on the bottle, which is nice. Gives the ingredients. Says please vape responsibly. Come on, that's all I do is vape responsibly. Must be 18 plus to enjoy. Keep away from children and pets. May contain nicotine. Now, the difference between this line of juice, obviously on the bottle right there it says extra high VG. The premium liquid said max VG. So I don't know if they squeezed more VG somehow into this, if they found a VG plant and squeezed the hell out of it. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely made for dripping your RDAs. It's a real thick liquid. Like I said, when I paint my coils with it, it really coats the mess out of those coils and stays real nice and tight to it. The premium line that I reviewed earlier in the week, they are all custard based juices. All the premium juices from their premium line are all custard based. From their dripping liquids, I have 3 of these, so I got 2 more to talk about after I'm done with these, but obviously I'm not going to keep you that long here tonight to talk about those 2, but I'll make a separate video for those. But yeah, so this one is not a custard base, but however it is max PG. It's red. It looks like a blood. But anyway, give it a good shake. This one I noticed, I think because of the nice plastic bottle, to me it was easier to shake up. I didn't have to run the hot water over trick like I told you with the glass bottles, and it's just easier to mix up. So I gave it a good shake a minute ago before we started. I just painted my coils with it. This one is Rasberry Lemonade. Okay, now that, yeah, I'm gonna take a vape on it, tell you how it tastes. Straight off as it comes into your mouth, you taste the raspberry. These 2, also like the premium e-juice line that I reviewed, these 2 are also steeped for 30 days. I've had this one for almost a week, and the bottle is just about half gone. It hasn't even quite been a week that I've had it. I get the raspberry taste as soon as it goes into my mouth, mixed with a little hint of lemonade. Then on the exhale, I definitely taste the lemonade. It is definitely a refreshing vape. It makes, I mean, it's important to drink when you vape, so that way you don't get dehydrated and your mouth stays wet, so that way you can taste your juice and such. But this particular one, it dries my mouth a little bit because there's tartness, obviously from the lemon taste, but it also makes me salivate. I hate that word. It sounds gross. It makes me drool a little bit. The raspberry taste is excellent with the lemonade. It just mixes well. This is a refreshing juice. Makes me obviously think of summertime when you have your lemonade out at summertime. Fantastic. I love the taste. I love the way it's mixed. Yeah, it's good. So let's rate it right quick. Take another 2 to it. Obviously, excellent vapor production. I think it's funny when you take a rip like that and you think you've gotten all of the vapor out of your mouth, and then as you start to talk you realize you don't. It sounds like you have mud or something in your mouth. But anyway, great vapor production. Obviously that extra VG in it really brings out and makes good vapor production. These juices, there's plenty of them. I'm going to be looking at some more of them in the coming weeks. But this one, Rasberry Lemonade, there's their logo again, definitely good. So let's do my scale. 0 to 5. 0, I hate it. 5, I love it. Labeling, 5, I like their labeling. I like all the warnings it has on it. I love the dragon logo. Matter of fact, on the building it says "Come get your drag on." See what they did there? Catchy, isn't it? Now, yeah, like their labeling, so I'll give them a 5. This one has child-proof cap on it. 5.5. Love it. Taste, 5.5. It's delicious, especially if you love lemonade. You get that tart taste and the raspberry taste, and they mix. But yeah, tastes like country Tastes like Country Time lemonade with raspberry overall. It's definitely a 5-point juice in my opinion, especially if you like lemonade. And I mean, it's just, it's different, it's refreshing. So yeah, that's all I got time for tonight. I hope you watched the entire video, and I appreciate it if you stuck with it till the end. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the crotch box or the box below. Comment, I'll get back to you. I will leave the information, Victorious Vapers, where you can get some ripping liquid raspberry lemonade. So yeah, it looks like a blood. Be kind of funny to vape at Halloween. But anyhow, yeah. Oh, and if anybody could tell me what to use on my Nemesis to try to get it shiny again, I would appreciate that. Also, if you have a Nemesis and you haven't done the copper contact or the magnet switch update, I encourage you to do so. Really cheap upgrade. The copper contacts, I think, were the most expensive. They were like $12 and some change from where I found them on eBay. The magnets were like $2. So yeah, thank you. Oh, and hope you're enjoying getting close to the holidays. That's all I have time for tonight. Follow me, all that good stuff. See y'all next week. Hope you have a great weekend. And remember, sit down. And have you a vape.